Hello and welcome to the Nerdrunners podcast. I'm Stef, and introducing this new data pack is Mark. Take it away.
Welcome to the universe of tomorrow!
That was very good.
Thank you.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm exhausted. I'm still good though. I've been doing all the things. I've come back from holiday immediately into the most hectic time at work I've ever had, and I've come home and I've been cycling and I've cooked, and now I'm sat down talking to my friend, talking about Netrunner, drinking some wine and looking at the new data pack.
What could be better?
I know, friendship, booze, Netrunner, booze.
We got it all, man. We got it all.
Yeah.
How was Canada?
It was an interesting time. We got there in one of the worst droughts the country had had. They hadn't had any rain since March.
Really?
Yeah, so everything was brown. So we were there for a week, went over, did a bit of whale watching, saw some humpback whales and some orcas, did a little bit of museums, lots of drinking, lots of eating, and then went on a stag do. Day we went on a stag do, the heavens fucking opened. I'm not joking. There were honest to God trees, 100-year-old trees, fucking in the middle of the road, just knocked over because of the wind and the rain.
Really?
Yeah. The city shut down. It was terrible. Like, alternating blocks were out of power because the way their power system works is weird and odd. But it didn't matter to me because I left the city. We went to Whistler, where we had a villa. It was glorious. And there was a murder room. I can't talk much about the murder room. It was a thing that is sort of... Well, essentially, I got there and I was like, we were the last to arrive, and I couldn't find where I was sleeping. I was like, oh, it's alright, I'll just crash on the sofa. Like, it doesn't matter if there's no rooms. It's like, well, no, there should be a room. There should be a room upstairs. So we started looking through the cupboards, and I opened this cupboard. You've seen Harry Potter, right? The film?
I think I've seen all of them but the third one.
Yeah, well, in the first one, you see his fucking understairs closet room.
Oh, yeah.
It was that, but full of, like, a mattress with a single high-brow bulb. A mattress that's covered in a sleeping bag with a lock on the outside of the door. I was like, this is a murder room, guys. This is a room where people come to die. This is where
that doesn't sound good.
Where sexy death happens. I've seen these films. I don't want to be here. So yeah, that was fun. My wife got stuck up a mountain because of the power cuts. She was up there for about 3 hours while they got the power sorted. And then ate a lot of food, drank a lot of wine, did a little bit of zip lining, did a little bit of sushi eating, did a little bit of the wedding, which I emceed, which turns out means completely different things in North America than it does here. So an MC in England means, hey, you introduce the couple when they come in, like, hey, this is Mr. and Mrs. And then maybe introduce the cake, cutting of the cake, maybe introduce the dancing. Nope, I looked after the fucking wedding is what I did. Then literally, the photographer came up to me and was like, oh, where are the couple going to be walking? It's like, why the fuck would I know?
All of the power.
Yeah, I did. I had all the power and none of the clues. But it's good. I need to give a shout out to Rachel and Alec, who are the happily married couple. Hello. I know Alec might be listening because while I was out there, I didn't manage to get to the Vancouver meetup, unfortunately, because of wedding-y stuff.
Yeah.
But I did teach a bunch of Canadians Netrunner. And by God...
How did that go?
Oh, really well. Turns out the corset is a son of a bitch.
Yep.
It's full of very cool cards I completely forgot about, like Rabbit Hole. No one runs Rabbit Hole now. Turns out if you're trying to tag someone to blow them up, you don't like Rabbit Hole. Rabbit Hole's a nasty thing.
It is. I remember, I think it was probably in the first tournament I went to, I was playing against, I think, a Rabbit Hole Kate, and they had Toolbox and 3 rabbit holes out before I knew what was happening. I'm like, you have Trace 6, and I'm running a very Trace-heavy making news deck.
Yeah.
I said, it's 6 Link, and it's like, gee, I have to do at least Trace 7 to get you to spend any money. This is ridiculous.
It's just shuts down mid-season. It's like, oh, okay, then I guess that's no fun. But no, Alec especially took to it like a duck to water. Unfortunately, I did take teaching decks along, so I had some things, and he built his core set decks, but I kind of felt bad for him. Although it did become kind of a challenge for him to try and beat the Jinteki death deck. And he came
Julian Jinteki.
Oh yeah, he came very close. He didn't beat me. The Julian Jinteki remains unblemished. But it's because I picked up Old Hollywood while I was out there as well, so I managed to actually get my hands on back channels, which makes the deck just slightly more dangerous. Or at least
that's the new Wayland operation where you can get 3 credits per advancement token on a card when you by trashing it.
Yes. So it's you mooshing out a trap. The trap doesn't go off. They get wise or they expose it because infiltration's a thing in the core set. And then they're like, oh, well, I'll just leave it there because I'm not going to hit it. I'm like, okay, cool. So this is now my money card. And you just start advancing it. Like, a click and a credit to get 3 credits in the long run is a very good investment.
Yeah.
But no,
I guess it's one of those things that it sits there and it becomes more dangerous in the fact that it's going to accrue you more credits when you eventually get around to it, because you're in no hurry, because you know when the runner hits it, they'll die.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, you can just be like, well, now it's going to be 24 net damage if you hit this.
Yeah.
Good luck.
It was when I think I got a Cerebral Override up to 10 advancement tokens. Like, well, you could stop me, but I would kill you, so sorry. But no, I had a lot of fun teaching newbies. There are a lot of hardcore Magic players, so it was nice to show them a game that is looks intimidating from the output, and it's very hard to understand the rules to begin with. Thank you very much, Fantasy Flight, for the worst manual in the world. But actually, they got really into it, and he's actually, I think they're coming over this weekend. They're flying to the country for the Rugby World Cup. Games. Seeing some games. They're also doing like a wedding blessing thing. I suppose that's a real reason for them coming out, but it's mainly rugby and Netrunner, if I'm being honest, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah. So yeah, I went over there. I was playing my weird looking for job, not looking for job variant, which then got added film critic put in because why not?
Did you get a chance to use film critic at all?
Nope, not at all. There was no need because I was mainly running against Corset. I bought it and put it in there on the hopes that I'd be able to get to the meetup.
Right.
I did offer to lend him my Jinteki deck, but I think he took it as a point of personal pride to try and beat it. But still, yeah. And then, and yeah, of course, Jinteki. How about you? How have you been? Because it's been over a month.
Yeah, about a month or so. I've been in a real Netrunner slump, if I'm honest.
Oh yeah, I'm there right now.
Like, I don't know, like, because I've been playing quite well recently, and my several variant of Anarch decks have been doing quite well, and my Wayland Space Ice Blue Sun monster of a deck has also been doing quite well, but then I try to come to do a new deck, and then I'll just be like, okay, so let's make something with Harpsichord, and okay, I'll put this in, and maybe I'll just make it all about Psycho Beal, and then Scorch and Traffic Exit. Oh, it's a butcher shop again. Damn it. Right. Okay, right. Let's make a Replicating Perfection deck. Cool. Okay, so let's put this in, and this is basically the Replicating Perfection deck everyone runs. Right. Every time I go to build a deck, it just kind of seems to fall into the super popular archetype that has just been done. It's like I tried. I've been thinking about Shaper recently because I played Kate a bit in the core set days, and I think I played Exile once, trying to just use all of the Cerberus breakers, which was funny and quite cool actually.
But
I've never really touched Shaper. I've always been Anarch, and then if I need a break, I go to Criminal because I don't know. I prefer messing with the corp more is my general modus operandi, I think, for Netrunner. Like Anarch, I can just be disruptive. Criminal, I can shut down stuff. I can take their money. It's kind of be disruptive in different ways. But the Shapers, I find, never really enticed me in.
There are definitely Shaper cards that mess with the corp. Like Escher. Escher's a really pain in the arse card to deal with if you're not expecting
that's true.
And I mean, I'm surprised you've not tried the big daddy that is Prepaid Kate.
I think it's because it is so popular, and
yeah,
it's become like the Kate archetype. It's like if you're going to build again, this goes to my point. It's like I tried to build a Kate deck, and then it just ends up becoming Prepaid Kate. I'm like, I didn't really want to play Prepaid Kate. I wanted to kind of do something interesting with Kate, and then it just ends up becoming Prepaid Kate. I'm thinking about doing something with Kit because I like Quetzal, and basically making the corp think, that barrier I put down is pretty useless right now, and I quite like the idea of Kit of just being. Just because the times I've played as the corporation, Kit has just really messed with my strategy about when and where I put code gates, and having to really think, right, shit, I need a weak code gate on the out, or like I need something weak on the outside and something stronger on the inside, because they'll probably have Gordian Blade, and then that retains strength, so I can't do something weak on the inside early game, has to be something strong on the inside, and just, I've kind of been a fan of Kit from a distance, so I think I might try her out.
I was going to say, if you need inspiration, I can give you a deck building challenge or two if you want.
Yeah, why not?
Well, I mean, like, build a Hasbiroid deck that isn't fast advance.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's like because I'm a long-time champion of the Foundry, and I've kind of settled on a really neat HB suite of ice that doesn't really have. I don't think it has any non-HB ice in it. So it's all kind of like it's the next suite. It's IQ, Eli, Ichi 1.0, and a bunch of other things. But it's all kind of it's quite a nice suite of ice that I quite like using in a HB deck. I thought, you know what, I'll try engineer in the future. It's like, right, I'll put this in here. I have 15 influence, 2 Caprice, 3 Jackson. It's just like then it just becomes the kind of the typical what we have at the moment kind of HB Glacier deck that everyone seems to be like. Anyone who's kind of doing and I know there's creativity out there, and I don't want to kind of shit on the people who are being interesting. And I know a lot of and I think that's part of my problem as well. Is like I've not really been going to the meetups. So I've not really been getting ideas from playing other people. I've not really been watching Netrunner stuff online. I've not really been checking Netrunner DB to see the interesting new stuff. While you've been away, I've kind of had this Netrunner break myself, which has kind of probably not helped my slump. But
yes,
yeah, it just feels like when I look at engineering in the future and I'm using just HB ice, then it's like where does the influence go? Oh, maybe just Caprice Nisei. It uses up most of my influence. So yeah, I don't know. I think.
Have you tried the Voldemar HB?
I had a very kind of similar-ish variant in the Foundry at one point, I think, but not the actual Voldemar one that was the kind of Christian brought to popularity.
Yeah.
Maybe I could give that a go. But I do like mandatory upgrades. I think that's a very fun agenda. Getting that extra click is just phenomenal when you can pull it off. But I think if I was going to do like a Voldemar one, I might put more than one mandatory upgrades because I think that's just what it runs, just the single mandatory upgrades. There's only like a 2 points if they steal it.
Nope, three mandatory upgrades.
They run 3?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm definitely mistaken on that one. Well, yeah, maybe I'll try a Voldemar one then. But yeah, it's just kind of, don't know, I feel like, and I suppose it doesn't help that a lot of the Netrunner coverage I watch is kind of very tournament specific, and then people take the best, most winningest decks to tournaments.
Yeah.
And they are Prepaid Kate, they are Replicating Perfection, they are NEH at Fastrobiotics, they are Neareth Hub, Butcher Shop, they are Harpsichord Butcher Shop now. It just feels like, there's a very kind of elite set of decks that are just kind of dominating, and then it's just, I don't know, feel like I've had the creativity whacked out of me a little bit, and it's just kind of like, every time I try and build a deck, it's like, oh, I build a Leela deck, and then it just kind of ends up becoming the Endless Waltz Dave Hoyland deck. It's like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with any of these decks. They're all perfectly great and perfectly functional, but I want to try and build something
boring,
interesting.
Though.
I know, that's...
Decks that win are boring. Like, I need to retire my Julian Jinteki. The only reason it's fun is because I keep ruining people's days. Because I'm a terrible person.
And I kind of feel the same way with my Blue Sun deck. It is a very strong deck, and I've not had a great amount of losses with it. And I want to try something new, want to try something interesting. And I do wonder if part of the problem is that for a long time I kind of stuck with a few identities, and then for a good while after that, up until fairly recently, I was trying out maybe every couple of weeks a new identity that I'd never played before. But I've got to the point now where I've pretty much played with every identity. So I think that in a way I don't really have that interesting discovery of, ooh, okay, well, I've not played with, I don't know, custom biotics before. Let's build a deck. I kind of think, well, I built this custom biotics deck a while ago. It would kind of work then. What new cards can I put in? It's just, I've kind of that spot. To be fair, actually, it's more with the corpse. Like with the runners, I've had like a few good ideas. I've got a pretty cool idea for Laramie Fisk that I want to try out in the coming weeks. But yeah, I think it's more with the corpse, I think, that I seem to struggle with right now. I'm not sure why that is.
I tell you what, you should try my Julian Jinteki deck as well. If you're ever in a slump, it really makes you appreciate just how terrible you can make someone feel.
Well, I ran the variant a little while ago, the one that had biotic labour in it rather than scorched earth that you have. And again, it was perfectly fine. Won quite a few games for me. But again, I kind of found that it's just kind of it felt like it was kind of the same thing most times, and kind of there didn't seem to be any difference in the runners that I played. It was all very similar game plans, but there's nothing wrong with that, I guess. It's just I was kind of it felt like I understood the deck too quickly, and I didn't. I think that's probably what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a deck that takes a while to master, like with prepaid K, and again, I'm sure there's a learning curve to it, but it does, from what I've seen of it, it feels like once you know the contents of the deck, you're pretty much okay to. It's just like spend some money, or gain some money, throw down a program and just run, and you probably have enough money to get in, and then just kind of rinse repeats. Maybe I need something with more interesting facets to it. That's maybe what I should look for. But no, I'm sure I'll get out of my slump. We've got 3 new corp identities coming in the big box. We've got a new corp identity in this new data pack. So,
ooh, yes. Speaking of the new data pack, should we move on?
Yes, why not? Let's go on to some Universe of Tomorrow.
Let's see if we can get you out of your burnout slump.
To be fair, there are, again, some really interesting cards in this pack.
Indeed there are.
Let's start with Power to the People.
Power to the People. Power to the People is a priority event. You can only play it as your first click. It is 0 cost. It is 2 influence. The first time you access an agenda this turn, gain 7 credits.
It's Anarch.
It is Anarch, yes, of course it is. Sorry, I should have stated that from the beginning. Only Anarch would run something this dumb. Now unless you absolutely know you're going to access an agenda, it seems like this is a bad card.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'd put it in. I don't think I have a deck that guarantees an access at all. I don't know.
I think this might be quite a nice Valencia card, actually. Mm-hmm. Especially the blackmail Valencias that I've seen working, because the corp will put something in a server, try and score it out, but then you blackmail into it and you're guaranteed the agenda. Yeah. And if you played this first, you get 7 credits for it as well. And what's really great about this card is if you happen to hit an NAPD, you get the 7 credits from Power to the People first, and then you can spend 4 of those 7 credits to steal the NAPD, which is pretty darn good. And if you've got a medium loaded up with counters, or planning to do a legwork or Maker's Eye, or have a couple of interfaces out, then you're definitely going to increase your chances of hitting an agenda, so playing this first click is probably not too bad an idea. But no, I like it. I think it's quite interesting. It's a very Anarch thing. It's just like, you throw this down, it's like, okay, so I'm going to get an agenda this turn, or at least see an agenda this turn.
It is a very ballsy play. Like, you could just throw this out at the start of your go. Like, the court's all of a sudden like, oh no. Where's it going? Okay, the next card up is Surfer. Surfer is another Anarch card. It's a 2 cost 1 MU program. With text for 2 credits, swap a piece of barrier ice currently being encountered with a piece of ice directly before or after it. The run continues from this new position. You're still encountering that ice. It's also 3 influence. Like, I like this card. I like it a lot.
I think this is really neat.
I think,
especially after coming off playing a lot of Quetzal recently.
Oh yeah, the fact that as long as you can guarantee, I mean, it is Quetzal's card, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's you just gets you ever so closer to that lovely, soft, creamy core of the corp. It's good. I don't know how much use we'll actually see it in the wild, but I'm definitely putting in a Quetzal deck. I think I'm going to have to.
Yeah, I've seen some really interesting ones called paint surfing decks, and they're just like paintbrush and surfer.
Yeah,
and they'll guarantee you that you have 2 barriers in a row to work with, because obviously if you hit this barrier then sentry, and then you move the barrier behind the sentry, next time you can't use surfer because you've got a sentry first. So kind of have to find a way to deal with that. Tinkering as well would be quite interesting as well, but I'm not sure how much influence you'd have left.
Slim to none, I think, at that point. But it's just janky enough to work. But I really want to try this card out, especially because the amount of times when you see early ice, I've seen a lot of ice walls, especially when coming up against Wayland. Cheap end the run ice, really nice to have straight away. But this will pretty much ruin it if you've got say someone just like, oh well, I've put this code gate and then I put a piece of like a barrier in front of it just in case. Yeah, it's like, well, not anymore. I'm in.
And especially the one of the worst things you can face when you're Quetzal and you don't have anything really installed is double wraparound on a server.
Ugh.
Because so you can break the first one. Second one's going to cost you 7 unless you've got a David or any barrier breaker out. Suddenly it's okay. I'll just swap the wraparounds around And
We'll wrap the
continue
wraparounds
on.
around the oh god, oh my head.
Tie them in a knot, a proverbial knot. And of course, the flavor text on Surfer just reads "Cowabunga, dude," which is just great.
The next one up, I think, is up for you.
Sure, I'll read it. It's DDoS. It's a 3-cast virtual resource for the Anarchs, weighing in at 3 influence as well, and it says, trash. The Corp cannot res the outermost piece of ice during a run on any server this turn. Damn, that's a good card.
Yep.
Anarchs have been getting so much love.
It's a very nice early play.
Especially just like, classic Corp first turn is get some money, ice over HQ, ice over R&D, and then you can play DDoS and ruin the day and get in when they thought they were safe.
Yeah. I can't think of anything else to say about this. I really want to run it just to see, just like, yeah, I'm in. Sorry. I mean, especially if it's also particularly good in a noise mill deck, because I don't know about you, but a lot of times I've played against Corps, they tend only to single ice archives, even against noise mill.
Yeah.
Especially with things like what is it? Hades fragment. Or shard, or whichever way around it is.
Shard for the runners.
Yes, Hades shard. But no, I think we'll start seeing this quite a lot. Or at least I hope we will.
Yeah, and again, this, going back to Quetzal, and this is purely because I've been playing a lot of it recently, is that barrier that you were getting through nice and easily with Quetzal's ability. They put a piece of ice in front of it, you then throw down DDoS, they can't res that piece of ice that was probably a code gate or a sentry, or even double barriering you, and then you just go past the one piece of ice that is res that's a barrier, and you're in again. And yeah, I think DDoS is great. I really wonder how I'm actually going to have a 45 or 50 card Anarch deck.
You're going to struggle. You're going to struggle.
So many good Anarch cards now.
Yeah. But we've got a very odd card up next. One that I'm still trying to get my head around on whether it's good or not. It's a new identity, and it's one I've been waiting for quite a while, which is Mr. Laramie Fisk, the Savvy Investor. He is 45-15, 0 link, identity natural. The first time you make a successful run on a central server each turn, you may force the Corp to draw 1 card. Now, I know that in my head I want to build a HQ hammer deck with this. Like, keep accessing the server, and they have to draw cards, which means you keep cycling them through the deck. But it can also work quite handily with a mill, I've realised.
Yeah.
Like, before you know it, the Corp's having to get rid of all the cards he needs. I like it, but I don't know how well it works. I can't think of a way to get it to work.
Well, the idea I've had recently, and I'm sure other people have stumbled across this because it seems quite sensible when you think about the interactions, is Woman in the Red Dress with Fisk. Because that way you see the top card of R&D, the Corp can then draw that card, which is, again, another card into their hand. If it's an agenda, you know where that agenda's going, and if they don't draw it, you just run a central server and force them to draw it anyway. But if they draw it, you've seen what it is; it's gone into their hand, and then you have a fresh card on R&D to run out anyway.
It doesn't seem as powerful as it could be. You know, it's not I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it's got enough cards to support it at the minute. Yeah, I like the idea of it. I want to play it very much, but I can't. I can't really see how I'm going to build something. Yeah,
I think because he is the both the identities in this pack, but he's the what was it, the tour that they voted on the different identities.
Oh yes,
and so I mean maybe that's why he's a bit of an oddball and doesn't seem to fit in right now, is because he was because he came from a vote and wasn't kind of in a specific... Well, I mean, I suppose they designed both the identities to fit in at some point. I'm probably talking bollocks right now.
But no. I'm so burned out.
And he's... And, importantly, with his ability, it's you pass the last piece of ice, then you can make the Corp draw the card, and then you'd see what was on then you'd see what was in R&D, or then you'd access HQ. So you can always I guess that's a good point actually. If they're low on cards and you know there's an agenda at the top of R&D, you run HQ, you say yes, draw that card, and then you've got a better chance to hit that agenda if you're legworking, or I mean, if the agenda was already on top of R&D anyway, then yeah. I like the idea that he's not just making the corp draw cards, but also has a better idea of what's in the corp's hand at all time as well.
Yes, there is that.
So I think it's maybe not just the draw or the mill, but also kind of any cards that would support stuff about knowing what's in the corp's hand and using that to your advantage.
Definitely, I think it's I don't know how much we're going to see. I hope it becomes very strong. It pairs in quite nicely with the next card, though.
Yes, it is Fisk Investment Seminar. It's a criminal event, 0 cost, and it's a priority, so you play only as your first click. Each player draws 3 cards, and it's 2 influence. So this is some pretty decent criminal card draw, actually.
Yeah, it is, actually. It's really, really, really good economy. And it kind of it screws them with stuff like Daily Business Show, screws the corp with them as well. Because they've got so much stuff they're going to have to throw each and everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, and also, like, if the you've used Woman in the Red Dress, the corp says, you know what, I'm not drawing that card. You then play Investment Seminar, force them to draw that card and 2 other cards.
Yeah, and then legwork, because, hey, why not?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, Fisk and legwork will go together quite well, because, yeah, you can keep an eye on what's in their hand. When you work out they're getting quite agenda flooded, you just hit them with a legwork and just dominate.
Especially with this, hitting with this as a priority, legwork. Oh, all the cards, thank you.
Yeah. No, I think this is really good, and even outside of Fisk, just drawing 3 cards is good in one click.
I don't know. It's 2 influence though. There are.
Oh, sorry, I meant as in other criminals.
Oh, all right, sorry.
Of Fisk.
Oh yeah, I probably won't play it with Fisk.
There, yeah.
Fisk, I'm still not convinced about.
I'll do my best to change your mind.
Yeah.
I have some grand ideas. Fisk's red dress. It's going to happen.
Fisk red dress. Fisk investment seminar.
I do believe the character that Laramie's schmoozing with is Jackson Howard in the art as well.
Is it?
I'm fairly certain it is. I've seen that blue suit, red tie before. I think that's Jackson Howard.
No, I don't believe that for a second. I'm going to look up Jackson Howard's card now. He doesn't have that hair. He does have the hair. Shit! Okay, maybe it is Jackson Howard then.
Which, I think, in a very kind of weird, flavourful way, Jackson Howard draws 2 cards with a click for the corporation. So Fisk is like, hey, buddy, I've got an idea how to improve your card draw by 1, okay?
Just invest with Fisk Enterprises.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he's like the Iron Man of the Netrunner world.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, dear.
I think this is good, and yeah, I want to see more to do with like just messing with the corp and their card draw, and suddenly they have 3 extra cards to deal with. But I think it's the same as when you're the corp and you install a server and they've got Astro Lab, or you're the corp and you stay at hand size and they've got Vigil out, and it's like, oh, did I just give them the card they needed? With this, it's like, shit, did I just give them 3 cards they needed, or it was one of those 3 cards one they needed? So, yeah, I think it's probably want to be playing this when they got 5 cards in their hand already, and then they've drawn 3, and then on their next turn they draw their mandatory draw, and then they're up to 9 cards in hand. And if it was something good with Woman in the Red Dress, they're up to 10 cards in hand. Oh, you just and that's that's like
a quarter of the deck.
Yeah. Actually, when you think of it like that, it's not bad.
You're really powering through.
Yeah.
Oh man, maybe Fisk Mill. Oh, that's. I tell you what, Mark, that's your challenge for next week. Fisk Mill. I wouldn't say next week.
So
whenever, next fortnight.
Data Link Reversal Paparazzi. And tag myself, start milling. Maybe just get them to draw 3.
Yeah.
Pop an Eden Shard, get them to draw 2 more.
Yeah. Yeah. Fisk Investment Seminar, mill 3, go. Next card is a shaper card. A little bit of hardware for shapers. Nothing too bad. 0 cost hardware called Bookmark, 2 influence. For a click, host up to 3 cards from your grip face down on Bookmark. You may look at these cards at any time. Click or trash. Add all cards on Bookmark to your grip. Which is now I like this. I like this card a lot.
This is a very good card, I think.
It's interesting for several reasons. First of all, it's a pseudo street peddler.
It's a street peddler with more control, which is basically how shapers run things anyway.
Yep. It's great protection against damage because of the trash ability. You can do it at any time.
Yes.
So you can fill your hand with cards. It's not unique either. So you can have 3 bookmarks out with 9 cards on them. I don't know why you'd want to do that but if you're really scared, you could have them all to your hand at once. And especially if you play quality time and you don't manage to get the cards you want to play, you can immediately just host them all down there anyway.
I was just going to say, with like game day, beach party, you just fill your hand back up, throw tons of cards onto bookmark, and it's not a unique click as well, so you can do several clicks in a turn. Mm-hmm. Or several clicks overall. It doesn't have to be in a single turn. Of just, all right, host 3, host 3, host 3.
Oh, wow, I completely forgot about that.
So it's not like Street Peddler where it is just those 3 cards. Shapers can put their deck on bookmark if they wanted to.
It's like an easy access levy, really.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I hadn't even thought of that.
And then I can see this working kind of well with Faust as well. It's like, oh, I don't have enough cards to break everything. I'll trash my bookmark, and now I have enough cards to break through. But no, this is a really neat program. It's really neat hardware.
Sorry, I kind of... You've blown my mind. I'm just like... I need... Oh, wow. I need to... Ooh, there are things. There are things in the works. No, I've run out of my mind with like what I was going to say. No, it's also I'm just thinking it's pretty good with Hayley as well, which is good considering she's a university student. Because with Hayley,
she needs the bookmarks.
Because you can keep your cards on them when you need them, pick them all up, and then install the cards of the same type. And you can pair it with Personal Workshop or something like that. And
especially with Hayley, when you install one bookmark, you could install the second one straight away.
Oh man!
And that way you're not, because I mean the one drawback to this is maybe a drawback in certain circumstances, but you'd add all cards on bookmark. If you have 2 bookmarks running concurrently, or 3, you just choose the one bookmark that has the cards you need at that point, pull them back, and you've not super flooded yourself. Yeah, and you can always spend the rest of your clicks that if you don't need them to put the cards back on a bookmark, assuming you didn't trash it. So yeah, I think this is and 0 to install as well.
Yeah. 2
so
influence, good. It's just enough to maybe keep it out of some decks, but I think a lot of people may be running this going forward.
Yeah, I think this is great. Are there any... I'm just trying to think, are there any Shaper programs? Because I'm thinking of it in a really weird kind of... You know how they do the Shaper bullshit of you clone chip a self-modifying code to then pull a program out of thin air? I'm wondering if there's any shape. There's not really any Shaper stuff that pulls things out of your grip. So, I guess you'd you're either trashing stuff with Faust or you're pulling it to install something again. You wouldn't be kind of mid-run trashing this to then savoir faire. Fucking hell, savoir faire.
Yeah, there you go.
That's it. That's what I was thinking. That's what you. All right. Oh, I don't have what I need. All right, trash bookmark. Right, 2 credits. That's installed with savoir faire. Fuck. Right, that's it. So that's the deck. Done it.
You've broken Netrunner. Netrunner is done now. Oh dear.
Shall we move on to the next card?
Yes, let's move on to the next card before I lose my mind.
It is Da Vinci. It's 1 cost, 1 MU program for the Shapers, 2 influence. And it reads, whenever you make a successful run, place 1 power counter on Da Vinci. And there's a trash ability, which is install a card from your grip with an install cost equal to or less than the number of power counters on Da Vinci, ignoring the install cost.
It's pretty cool. It's a nice little builder card.
Yeah. Especially if you're running early and often.
Yes.
Start kind of a nice little bank of tokens on Da Vinci, and then maybe that Femme Fatale doesn't cost quite so much to install. Although I guess you can't pay the difference with this. So you'd have to get at least 9 if you wanted a Femme.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's good. I think it's really cool. It's only 1 MU, so it's it's fine. It's a trash ability, so it's kind of you want it out of the way to install the program anyway. Yeah, I think this is good. And the art's really cool as well. Kind of very Da Vinci flying machine.
Yeah. Well,
/ looks a bit like a satellite
hence the
relay.
name, I suppose.
Well, yeah.
But that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I like that. I like the card a lot. I think it'll be. I don't think it'll see too much use in faction. Actually, I would put that more in possibly something like my my wizard deck because I'm running so fast so early on.
Yeah.
It'll take a particularly aggressive, mindless runner to try and get this up to enough where you can install your Morningstar.
Yeah, actually, that
8
would
runs.
certainly stop my Morningstar installations being so painful. I've done 8 runs prior.
Oh man, to put this out first thing and just spend your entire first turn running archives.
You could do that, couldn't you? Yeah.
Yay, all the power counters.
Or if this and a data sucker twinned, then you're constantly building up stuff at the same time.
Yeah.
So you have enough to install a program, and then you have tons of data sucker counters to use with the program that you install.
Yeah. Huh. I'm going to have to look into this a bit more.
What's next then, Stef?
The next card. It's a neutral card. Resource 1 cost is a location as an additional cost to spend a click to trash a resource, not through a card ability. The corp must pay 2 credits. This, my friends, is the Wireless Net Pavilion, also known as Screw Your Abilities Corp.
I really like this card, and I've already started to kind of build. Again, this is what I said. I kind of have the runner ideas, but I don't have any corp ideas. But yeah, this. Remember my old max deck, which was eat a keyhole, and then if I got locked out, it was just DLR them to death.
Yeah, I recall
this in that deck. All of a sudden,
it would be very good.
Oh, you're going to trash this thing? Well, that's going to be 4 to trash the fall guy first, and then. Do you want to pay another 4 to trash my Joshua B?
Trash the next fall guy.
Yeah, trash the next fall guy. Trash the. That's if you have 3 fall guys out, that's 12 credits and their entire turn to get rid of them.
Trash the paparazzi.
Trash the paparazzis. Trash the Joshua Bs. Trash the DLRs. Suddenly the corp is looking not so great in terms of they're tagged. I'll trash them. I'll trash their stuff. And if paparazzi as well, which is protecting you from meat damage, is now 4 credits and a click. To trash as well, which is pretty good. And there's only 1 to install. I like this. This is cool. And
it's a solid card.
It's going to be a very good staple of the kind of tag me decks, I think.
Yep.
Any people who are dumb like me and run tag me resource decks.
Yeah. You could put it in an Ian Sterling deck and it still wouldn't work. No, I like it. It's a good card. I can't say much more about it because I think it's fairly self-explanatory as to why that's good. Because just taxing the corp is always fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next cards. I think we're onto the corps now, aren't we?
We are. They are all the runner cards from the Sandstone cycle.
We're powering through this. It's good.
We are. Next up, we have Cybernetics Court. This is a HB asset. It's a ritzy facility. And it is 5 influence.
Yeah, it is. It's also 5 to trash.
It's 5 to trash, 0 to res, and it is simply your maximum hand size is increased by 4. That's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Moving on. I'm joking. No, it's pretty good. I like it because it gives the corp way more options. I'm not the biggest HB fan because I always found that with playing Fast Advance HB, I was always like, I don't like Fast Advance to begin with, but I never had the options I needed. I was always digging. I mean, you put this, tie this in with Fast Track or a Panic Button even, and you can just keep way more cards in your hands. Okay, and then it really screws them when it comes to say legworking. It's okay, which of these 9 cards would you like to access? Yeah. Oh, these 3?
Or
cool.
Even...
Well, let's.
Or even in the, I guess, deck it's maybe more tailored towards is the Cybernetics division. So your hand size is 8, the runners is still 4. And now, you can keep a lot more options in hand, and you're not limited by your own ID ability.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and 5 to trash is not nice. It's not a nice number to see.
As a Wizard player, it fills me with dread.
It's 2 of your own credits.
Yeah, no, it's shocking. It's I should not have to spend my own money to trash your cards.
You need at least 1 scrubber working for you.
I worked
to be able
hard
to
for that.
It's good. I like it. I think it's obviously just going to be in HB decks. We'll see this. But then HB has a deck archetype all about having a fuck-off hand size in cerebral imaging. So
yes, it does.
Why not have an additional 4 cards, or maybe even an additional 12 cards that aren't dependent on your credit total? Oh no, actually no. It's unique. Ignore that. You can't have 3 of these rares. That would be ridiculous.
Yep. Oh dear me. Right, next card. A card I'm happy with. A card I want to put into NBN all the time. Is Team Sponsorship. Another HB card. It's an asset. 4 to trash. 1 cost. 1 influence. Whenever you score an agenda, you may install a card from Archives or HQ, ignoring the install cost. Oh, this card. I know I said this last time about Film Critic, but this card and Astros. Ugh. Ugh.
I've actually played against someone using Team Sponsorship.
Yeah.
Out of Near Earth Hub, all of the basically think the Neopad deck, but without any of the killing. So Turtlebacks, Team Sponsorships.
I don't like it at all.
It was mean deck, and not only did they run Team Sponsorship, but they would also score out License Acquisition, which is a 3-1 NBN agenda that people probably forgot about because it's not breaking news.
Yeah.
And with that, you install an asset or upgrade from Archives, and you res it for free, basically.
Yeah.
And then you do that, and then you also bring something else out of Archives with Team Sponsorship that the runner probably already spent a ton of money trashing, and now it's back, albeit unresed, and it's just... I think it was Rupert I was playing against, and it was just like, alright, I'll bring back that Sansan you trashed. Oh, fuck off!
Yeah, exactly.
So at one point he had 2 res Sansans on the board. I'm like, you can keep them. You keep them. I'm not going to trash them again. You can fast advance that stuff if you want to keep them. I don't care.
Yeah, it's good. It's especially good against milling. Noise mill. This card can suck a dick against that. It's awful. Especially like if you're trashing. I want it so bad with Astro Scripts. You score an Astro Script, you put your next Astro Script out. The next turn, you advance your Astro Script. Then you've got 2 counters, and you can score an Astro from hand immediately.
It's ridiculous. It really is. And you've probably already got Astros in your bin as NBN because you have Jackson out anyway.
Yep.
Who's going to save them? Oh. No, this is great. It's even better in NBN. The NBN asset, heavy decks. Oh my god.
Oh, can you imagine sticking down to Cyberdex Virus Suite as well?
Oh, jeez. so much love it. And as well, I love it's such a great benefit. And the whole theme of the card is, what do you mean, buyer? Look, we're sponsoring the sports team. We're awesome. You don't know what we're talking about with all the terrible things you've heard. No, that brain taping warehouse, forget about it. Look, Sansan Sharks, Sansan Outlaws.
Yeah, Sansan Outlaws. And I do like it's another... And Hasbiroid's sports engineering division shift, which I'm hoping we'll see at some point.
I was just going to say, I really hope that's an ID in the future for them. Maybe not in the Mumbad cycle, but maybe after that we might see their sports engineering division. I do kind of want to know what shift stands for.
Yeah. Super high... No, it's gone. Okay. Moving on.
Next, it's the other Tor voted for identity... Kronos Protocol, selective mind mapping. It's the Jinteki Sniper, 45-15. The first net damage the runner suffers each turn, you may look at the runner's grip and select the card that is trashed.
Yep.
Jeez, this is nice.
You want to talk about PE? This is not just PE. This is your mama's PE. This is Kronos Protocol, baby. It's a hell of a card. Whew. And especially not just with the fact that you can target cards to kill. That's good, don't get me wrong. But the fact that you get to see their entire hand and go, oh, okay, well, there's a breaker there going, nope, not anymore, that's gone. Or
even thinking, so you've got a few R&D pressure cards, let's ice up R&D some more with the rest of my turn.
Yeah. Or even things, I just like trying to get rid of, you can snipe a net shield from their hand.
Yes.
Which would really upset people.
And I love the fact as well, this gives Neural MP a new lease of life in the fact that you don't need to flatline, you can just play a Neural MP just to snipe something now.
Yep.
Which is just neat. It's good. Oh.
House of Knives as well. Ping, see your hand. Oh. Thank you. Especially mid-run. Ooh.
Yep. Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, this is a good identity.
Oh, that'd be really interesting. 3 House of Knives out. You snipe the I've had worse, making them draw, and then you use your other 2 House of Knives to ping off the 2 cards they've drawn, and then they hit the snare.
That's just mean. And I'll tell you something else that's really neat about this is, you know how a lot of the time with Jinteki, you think, oh, fine, I'll just let the Yagura fire, or I can, on this run, I'll let the pup fire, so I have those 2 credits that I need. That's probably going to get me the NAPD. Now you really don't want to let any net damage subroutines fire, because they'll check your grip and trash the good stuff.
Or even a shock. Like that little niggly card that would just dig into you. Oh god, that's awful now.
Alright, you know what I said about not having any ideas for corp decks? I take it all back. Shock, Neural MP, House of Knife, just the Sniper Jinteki deck.
I might actually swap out for Jinteki Biotech for the Kronos Protocol. Yeah. That might not be a bad idea for the Julian Jinteki.
Yeah. Yeah. Although a lot of your meanness comes from just getting rid of the entire hand, so it doesn't really matter too much what you see first.
Oh no, but I've still got, House of Knives and things, and it would still be interesting.
True. Speaking of net damage, though, our next agenda...
Talk to me, Mark. It's Ancestral Imager. It is a Jinteki agenda, a security agenda. 3-1, whenever the runner jacks out, do 1 net damage. I love this card. I love this card so much. Especially considering that you could just score it so quickly.
Yeah.
And it ruins everybody's day. Especially if you have 2 of them, or 3 of them out.
Yep.
Whenever the runner jacks out, do 3 net damage.
Jeez. That's heavy.
It is. It's the kind of thing that I'll be swapping out agendas for. It's such a strong card.
Yeah. It can't. I guess it couldn't be any more than 3-1 for what it does.
It's way too powerful for that. No, I think because I run House of Knives in Julienne, so I might swap out my House of Knives for this, maybe.
To be honest, I would maybe consider having maybe 2 of each.
Yeah, that might not be a bad idea. I'm trying to think what I could.
Or even if you put this in,
I'll cut the Kronos project. That's what I'll do.
If you have this in PE as well, it's another 3-1 for PE to, if they steal it, they get some net damage. If you score it, you can constantly do net damage when they jack out. Although, to be fair, I don't see a lot of jacking out against Jinteki these days.
I don't know.
It happens, but I think
I've seen a lot more of it when they've been running and they've hit things like what's the lockdown. When you can't draw cards the rest of your turn, like, okay, maybe I'm not going to hit that trap then. Maybe I'll just keep my cards.
Yeah. Oh, and then they jack out after the lockdown and get hit by Ancestral Imager.
Yeah. Oh, you forgot about that. And again, they'll just forget about it. It's good. Like, no. Now you take all the damage.
Yeah.
Especially if you're running with 3 cards in hand and you've got to make a decision about whether it's a snare or not. It's like, do I lose all the cards in my hand and open myself up, or do I risk that it's snare and die? I don't know. Actually,
that's a very good point. If you're on 4 cards during a run, you knock them down to 3 or 2 with your House of Knives. Suddenly, it's either death by snare, or maybe take 1 or 2 net damage through Imager.
That's my next deck. It's going to be called Damned If You Do, Damned If You Don't.
And you have to have an offer you can't refuse in there as well. Naturally. From the last pack.
Yep. Oh, it's good. It's a good one. I like the next card as well, actually.
Yeah, speaking of limiting runner's draw ability, we have another ritzy facility asset, this time for Jinteki. It's another whopping 5 influence and 5 trash cost. It's 1 to res. It is the runner cannot draw more than 2 cards during his or her turn. It is the Genetics Pavilion.
Or How to Ruin Draw. Diesel shut down. Quality Time shut down.
I've had worse.
Levy?
Yeah, you draw. I guess you draw into a hand of 2 cards.
Yeah, that's a bad time.
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, it's it's not a shuts down. What else did it shut down? I'm trying to think now. My mind has failed me.
But someone who's pro-coing for their life.
Yep. Or
Risky investment seminar.
Yep.
Only get 2 cards from that. Oof. I love if you just put a lockdown in front of this as well.
Oh God.
That's a real damned if you do, damned if you don't.
It's like, come at me, bro. Come at me.
Not only that, you put a lockdown in front of this, and then put this on a Hokusai grid. And then they can take a net damage on access.
Oh, man.
But again, 5 to trash is ridiculous.
Yeah. It's good, though. It's good.
And imagine this with industrial genomics, where you're increasing the trash cost anyway. You put out hostile infrastructure, which is another 5 trash cost card, which is going to do a net damage whenever they trash an asset. Things just get very, very mean then.
All of this after the Kronos Protocol. Things are starting to look bad for the runner.
Yeah. Man, Jinteki's really got some teeth recently.
Yeah, it has. Scary, really. I mean, I'm happy. Yeah. I've got more time to ruin people's lives, but, you know. Oh, dear. Right, the next one. Franchise City. Another 5 influence card. They're getting to be quite common in this pack. I wonder if there's one for each. It is a 3-cost asset facility, 4 MBN, 2 to trash. When the runner accesses an agenda, add Franchise City to your score area as an agenda worth 1 agenda point. It's Franchise City, everybody.
Take me down to the Franchise City where I'm scoring agenda points and you can't stop me.
Yes!
This, in Harpsichord, I really like the idea, because when I've played against Harpsichord, you hit that agenda, you steal that agenda, especially if they lay out a few cards, and you think, well, there's not much point running on anything else, because it's probably going to be agendas, it could be the Sensi ones, I can't do anything about it anyway. Then the next turn they just res a bunch of Franchise Cities and score something. I know, and then they... Then you didn't trash the Franchise City, and
Well, it's 3 to res. It'll be interesting. Like, they've got a lot of money, and you run against cards like, oh, cool, I get to steal this NAPD. Well, that's 4, and then they get 3 Franchise Cities on the board. Like, cool, thanks. The value.
Yeah, and not only that, but if things don't go your way and you have team sponsorship in your deck, you can just pull back all the Franchise Cities.
I need to figure out how it works with when the runner accesses an agenda. You add this to your score area. What if you're both at match point? Who wins? Or is it just a draw?
If you were both at match point, it is the runner be going first. So yeah, if it's their turn, then the runner would they'd get the agenda first. Okay. I think.
I need to... Let's email Lucas. We'll tweet Lucas. He'll be fine. I say like I know him.
But yeah, this is pretty neat. I think the 2 trash cost is about right, because you know, any more than that it would just be too crazy to get rid of, and you'd pretty much guaranteed an agenda point with it.
Yeah.
Again, good with the Sensi agendas, because runner hits that, they'll give you 5 credits or 2 advancements, and then you've got this already sorted. You've rezzed it. It's okay. Have that agenda. I'll get 5 credits and an agenda point as well.
Oh, it's always fun.
Yeah.
What do we got next?
Next up is product placement. It's a 0 to res, 2 to trash advertisement upgrade. If the runner accesses product placement from R&D, he or she must reveal it. When the runner accesses product placement, the corp gains 2 credits. Ignore this effect if product placement is accessed from archives.
Yeah, a little bit of money. Always fun.
It's a nice... And again, it's just like, the runner hits this, assuming from R&D, or even HQ, it's like, alright, you immediately gain 2 credits. It's like, right, now you've just gained 2. Do I want to have to pay 2 to trash that? And now there'd be like a 4 credit differential between us?
Yeah.
And as well, there's not to be too spoilery, but yeah, we've got
with Spark coming.
With Spark coming in the deluxe pack, which is all about the adverts.
Yep, all about dem adverts.
It's a nice little money card that I feel it's in a similar vein to Pop-Up Window. It's going to get you money. You don't really have to do anything. It's all about when the runner hits it, and
and you stick this on R&D. It's like, okay, come on, I'll get a little bit of money every time you access something. Stick it on HQ, a little bit of money every time you access.
Yeah, that's a very good point, actually. You don't have to keep it in your hand when you've drawn it. You put it down as an upgrade, and then it's like, right, okay. It's there constantly.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And especially if the runner hits this when they're low on credits. Yeah, very cool. What we got next?
It's World's Plaza. It is a 5 influence. Hey, it's another 5. Mark, have you seen that there's like 4 or 5 influence cards for?
I know.
It's like they're demonstrating it. Sorry, I'll stop.
Although this is the only 3 of them have a 5 trash cost though.
Yes, World's Plaza is a 5 trash cost. It is a 2 cost asset to res. For Wayland, World Plaza can host up to 3 assets. For a click, install an asset from HQ on World's Plaza and res it, lowering its res cost by 2 if able. God damn this card. It's yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, if I'm in Wizard and I see this and there are cards on, I'm going to trash it because it means I can lose 4. I can make you lose 4 clicks for like 2 credits. But your assets are cheaper. You can stick things like Adonis campaign on here, which I like. Put 3 Adonis campaigns on there.
Or even if you think about this in Blue Sun, who often do the res the Adonis, bounce the Adonis back. Mm-hmm. This lowers that cost by 2, so yeah, just gain a bit more money, save a bit of money.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It ties in nicely with other assets in this pack.
Yep.
And you can put a lot of different things. Or you could put like 3 hostile infrastructures on there. See, you're instantly scared of like, oh no, I don't want to fight that. I don't want to fight that.
Oh man. I guess on the bright side, you just have to trash this, and then all the assets go away.
Mm-hmm. I suppose. I mean,
and it's unique. It's unique as well, so you're not going to see 3 World's Plazas hosting 3 assets each.
No.
And I like the flavour for it as well. The fact that it's the 3 assets are representing Earth, the Moon, and Mars as like the 3 colonised worlds, and I think it's quite neat.
Yeah, I do like the flavour text is pretty cool, which is the hollow sculpture depicts the 3 inhabited worlds. The square can hold almost 1% of their total population. It's just like, what a massive bloody place this is.
Yeah, well, Wayland probably built it, so yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they definitely built it.
Okay, next up we have Public Support. It's another Wayland asset. It's 3 influence this time, 2 to res, 4 to trash. And it's placed 3 power counters on Public Support when it is resed. When there are no power counters left on Public Support, add it to your score area as an agenda worth 1 agenda point. When your turn begins, remove 1 power counter from Public Support.
Turn 1. Install World's Plaza. Ice it. Turn 2. 3 Public Supports.
Oh, jeez.
3 turns later, you've got 3 agenda points. If they can't get
crap.
in, you need to be faster. In fact, that just screens Blue Sun. Your oversight AI at curtain 1, you just leave it there. It's like, you can't get in this early. I've got 3 of these. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's an incredibly janky turn, but hey.
And you can use the executive boot camp to go and find these because they're assets.
Mm-hmm. Is that Elizabeth Mills on the cover of it as well?
I think it might be.
Yeah, she's my favourite. She's my favourite admin. I like her.
I think she is the PR person.
Yeah, she is. She definitely is.
Yeah, so she'd definitely be the one on Public Support if there was going to be a person on there. So yeah. But no, this is neat. It requires a bit of protection. But yeah, Wayland knows something about big fuck-off barriers that keep people out, so...
Yep.
Assuming people don't surf past them, then yeah, you could be okay.
Oh dear. I mean, and it ties in nicely with the next card as well. These 3 cards work well together. The next card is Tour Guide. A Wayland Sentry, 2 cost, 0 strength. Which doesn't sound good, but Tour Guide gains a subroutine and the run for each resed asset you have. So, the absolutely best case scenario for this is in Gagarin, and you have something like 10 assets on the table. Like, okay, you can't get in. You just can't. You've got to click for so long to get all of those credits.
Yeah. Because, sentries are... Well, I guess Fairy would get past this.
Well, yes.
Quite
so would
easily.
a Mimic, but it's...
Right. Well, Mimic would still be credit for every subroutine. Yeah. Fairy would at least be 0 to get past it.
Yeah. Grappling Hook Mimic.
No, yeah, grappling hook E3 feedback.
Yeah.
Um,
But it's cool. It's a little,
Yeah.
it's a little green alien dude showing you all around all the assets because it's very expensive to get this tour, I suppose.
yeah, I like the idea as well. It's just like the tour guide's pointing out all these great things, like, "Hey, have you seen the World's Plaza? It's just over there." It's like, "Oh, okay, well, I'll end the run. I'll go check it out. Fine, okay, cool." And it's like, you come back, it's like, "Hey, can I show you the these facilities over here?" It's just like, "Oh, all right, end the run. I'll go over there and have a look at that." It's like constant distraction of like. You know the AI terminals in the Mass Effect game? I kind of see it, like you kind of get to a point in the World's Plaza and he just pops up, it's like, "Can I tell you about these areas of World's Plaza now?"
Yeah. This is my favourite area in the World's Plaza.
It's my favourite shop on the Citadel.
Yeah.
And as well, it's an end the run sentry, which you don't get many of.
No, and it's pretty cheap.
Nice.
So I mean, when you're setting up early on, it forces them to dig out a sentry breaker, which is good for accessing that one server. Whereas usually, I think you'd want to go and try and get out the a barrier breaker or a code gate breaker when versing Wayland. Personally,
yeah, because a lot of Wayland is about trashing programs anyway. So it's like if you hit that sentry, it's fine. And I guess the easiest thing to do with Tour Guide is to put it in front of an asset, and then it immediately has that one subroutine that you need. Next up, we have an upgrade. It's a region. It's for Wayland. It's 3 influence, 0 to res, and 3 to trash. It's Expo Grid. When your turn begins, gain 1 if there is a res asset installed in this server. Limit 1 region per server.
Mm-hmm.
Put this in the lovely server you have your World's Plaza in, and that is... Oh, no, it doesn't stack, does it?
Nope.
No, it's just gain 1 credit.
Yep.
That's slightly less good than I thought it was, but still pretty good.
No, 3 of these, 3 pad campaigns.
Yeah, that's 6 credits.
6 credits a turn. And then you've got to trash this or the pad campaign.
Yeah, and 3 to trash is not bad. It's it's wizard territory, but still 3 to trash is not a bad tax. And especially, like you say, if this is in a server with a pad campaign, that's 6 credits to trash to stop you getting 2 credits at the start of your turn.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is cool. I like it. It's another... I'm always a fan of ways for Wayland to get money that doesn't involve bad publicity. And, I mean, what's better than gaining money because you put on an awesome expo?
Yeah, exactly. Like, come to the expo to see our new pads. Maybe take a look at our Gagarin Deep Space program. Keep an eye out for Elizabeth Mills. She'll autograph your your car bomb, I suppose. Oh dear. No, it's good. It's a solid one. I like it.
Yep. Okay, take us home, Steph. What's the last card?
The last card. The last card is The Future Is Now. It is a neutral agenda, no influence. 3-1. When you score The Future Is Now, search R&D for a card and add it to HQ. Shuffle R&D. It's pretty cool. I like it. I don't have much else to say about it, really.
Yeah, I like it's. I think this could end up replacing Fast Track in decks that want to be super fast.
Pretty much.
Because with Fast Track, it was always got to play the card to get the card. Now it's I score the agenda to get the next agenda that I need, and you just kind of whiz through. And it doesn't even have to be an agenda; it can just be, whatever you need it to be. But you've scored 1 point doing so.
Do this first. Find your Astros.
Yeah.
Roll on the Astro train.
Oh my god! Yeah, immediately score this off of Sansa and pull the Astro.
Yeah.
As long as your HQ's a bit protected, you don't care about R&D because you'll just keep pulling the Astros. You can. Oh no, yeah, you could only do it once, and then you'd have to do another Future Is Now if you wanted to. Yeah,
but it just gets you the Astro that little bit quicker. It's like an early game search for fast advance. That's how I feel it is anyway.
Yeah, and as well, this also can just wrap up the game. You're on 4 points. You score this. You're up to 5. You then search for your Beal or your Astro if you're in a fast advancey type deck, or even you could just put this as a ridiculous proposition in terms of the Wayland deck that runs Government Takeover.
Oh,
I was going to say, yeah, Atlas would work too, because you could. It's even more kind of searching for stuff. Yeah, score this and go get that Scorched Earth.
Yep.
Go get that mid-seasons. There's a lot of good stuff you can do with this, and you're getting 1 point by doing so. It's great. And I like I think it's American Gothic, the creepy
is.
painting of the two American kind of country farmhands.
Puritanical farmhands, yeah.
That's it, yeah.
So these guys are smiling and he's got shades.
It looks so cool. And I think you can see Saturn in the background as well.
Yeah, you can.
Which would probably put them on one of the moons of Saturn.
It's because the future is now, Mark. The future is now.
So just before we wrap up, we've got a few pieces of reader mail this week. So our first one comes from Alex from Germany. He says, "Hey guys, I'm just discovering your podcast on Netrunner DB 2 days ago and just catched up with the latest episode. Yes, I binge listened to your show because it's so much fun. Awesome show, I'm loving it.
So sorry.
Please get on the good work because more Netrunner content makes the world a better place. Greetings from Germany, and P.S. Of course Christian was on your show. He is everywhere."
I am now 90% sure that Christian's a vampire. Simply because he doesn't sleep. I haven't ever seen him. I've heard him drink, but I'm fairly sure it was carbonated blood. So I'm just looking for proof, really. If anybody out there can prove that Christian is a vampire, for the sheer amount of work he puts in, he must not. He must rest for 2 hours in a coffin each night.
Maybe he's a biroid, and he's just programmed to produce Netrunner videos.
Oh no!
Or maybe Christian is several clones all working.
No, he's Hasbiroid. He must be the starter project for Hasbiroid.
Christian 1.0.
Yeah. You see, now I've got you thinking about it.
Just thinking what his subroutines would be now. Yeah, subroutine 1: lose a click by spending an evening commentating with Christian.
Yeah.
And then lose 2 clicks by watching an evening of Teamwork Cast videos.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. But yes, thank you very much for the kind words, Alex. Very much appreciated.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. And I believe you have our second piece of reading mail.
I do have an email from Alec Morrison, who is a friend of mine, actually, who I went over to go and watch get married. So he says, "Hi, Stef and Mark. As someone who has played a lot of Magic in my time, and someone who's only recently started playing Netrunner, I've been drawing a lot of parallels. What I'm thinking about a lot at the minute is with Magic, new players can just join with whatever the current set is and go from there. This is especially relevant with various formats in Magic. Netrunner is somewhat the opposite, and where else would you start but with a core set? Something that would be neat to address, if possible, is guidance on where to go next. I know it depends a lot on what Corp runner factions you play, but at this point the choice of data packs and deluxe sets is somewhat vast, and with time it only grows more vast. Alternatively, a second core set doesn't sound like a terrible idea. What can make this difficult is I can look at the card list online and think 1 or 2 cards could and might work, but sometimes spending my money on something that only might be useful can be off-putting. Any insight would be very much appreciated. Thanks, Alec."
Cool. Well, I've had a few thoughts on this. I don't know what you think, Steph, but I was going to say...
Lead on, and I will probably agree with you.
I was going to say, second core set, if you know you're into the game now, and why wouldn't you be? Netrunner is awesome. Second core set is definitely worth the money. 3, if you're a madman like me, works out quite well. But definitely I wouldn't go more than 2 to start with.
No, I've only just got my second core set.
What I was thinking recently is now that we've hit the end of another cycle, and now that there are so many cards to do, and general advice tends to be buy kind of a data pack like every month, but kind of from where you are. Don't worry about where they're releasing, or kind of buy them sequentially but one at a time. And I was wondering what you thought on maybe just if you know you're committed now, just kind of buying a cycle at a time if you could, because especially with the last 2, they've been kind of very, very thematic and work quite well on a whole, and like the cycles now almost work like big box sets where you get things spread out through the cycle, which when the cycle's complete they work very well as a whole. For example, like the Cloud Breakers for Geist in this cycle. Yeah,
I agree. I mean, I probably start with the spin cycle personally, because you've got your next dice in there, you've got Jackson, which is always really strong. Not many people don't use it. You've got a lot of MBN cards that are useful, like Wraparound. You've got your Celebrity Gifts and Caprice Nises for Jinteki. Sundews as well. For Wayland, it's where you've got Grendel Refinery and Grendel Power Unleashed. which gives you a lot of options for killing, and also punitives. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And then it also brings in all the things like Knight for Anarchs.
Oh, the Kaisa programs,
the Kaisa, which don't see too much stuff now, but you do every so often can just throw a Knight in there if you want a guaranteed access for a lot of money.
Yeah.
And you've got in the beginnings of the stealth, so your silencers and lockpicks, etc. It's a nice one to begin with. I think that cycle. Unfortunately, I think some of them are quite hard to find.
Yeah, I think a few of them are being reprinted, and I think Creation and Control is just being reprinted now as well. So definitely get your hands on that, because the amount of good Shaper stuff that gets splashed and the amount of good neutral runner stuff in that is brilliant. And Hasbiro got some pretty decent stuff in there too. So.
They really did.
And I definitely also recommend Order and Chaos, because that gave the Anarchs tons of good stuff.
Yeah, Honor and Profit was kind of
Yeah, I've liked Honor and Profit more the longer I've played since it came out.
Yeah.
I definitely felt a bit underwhelmed at the time, but now with more retrospect and knowing a bit better about what the cards do, a lot of them tend to work really well, I think, now. And legwork is the bomb.
Yeah, but Gingerbread's in there, so yeah.
Gingerbread is going to be amazing when Apex comes out.
Yeah,
I
sure.
can't deal with those traces. Calling it now. The Gingerbread. It fits so well with Endless Hunger.
Yeah. But no, I think Spin Cycle, Creation and Control, Order and Chaos, and then Luna?
Yeah, I don't know. Genesis still had a lot of good stuff in there as well. It has stuff like Eli in it as well. I don't know. I guess kind of have a look at each. Don't so much kind of look at the kind of maybe one or two cards, but kind of look at a cycle as a whole maybe now and kind of think, oh, that one has quite a lot of options for what I'm going to do now.
Yeah, see what inspiration you get.
Yeah, it's just I mean, if you can throw down £60 or whatever it is,
$120.
$100, it's not that much, is it?
It's nearly double. $2 to the pound currently. Don't talk to me. I've been on holiday there recently. I know the conversion rates.
That's Canadian dollars, though. I was talking about American dollars.
He's not American.
A good point, actually. He wouldn't care about American dollars.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. I'm fighting your corner, okay. Alec, and Canadians everywhere. Ignore this racist.
Okay, 120 Canadian dollars.
Thank you.
About 100 American dollars or so. So yeah, just it's a lot to throw down at once. But yeah, maybe or maybe like half a cycle at a time, something like that. Because I think it give you kind of a few. You don't want to kind of get too many packs at once, I think, but no. you probably want to get enough to experiment with and try a few different things, and especially if they're difficult to get hold of.
What I always go back to is something I heard when watching Shut Up and Sit Down, which is people seem to think that the main investment for Netrunner is money. It's not. The main investment for Netrunner is time, and it's because, as I have previously shown, the core set is still the bomb. Like, there are cards in the core set that are still being used. Magnum Opus is one of the strongest money-grabbing cards in the game. It's still being used, and we're, close to 400 cards in now?
Yeah, must be.
Yeah.
If not more.
Yeah, all the early stuff is really good. And don't get me wrong, broken to hell in some places. Like, if you're going back and looking at it, you're going, they would not release a card this strong now, not with that level of influence. But it's investment to kind of like, all right, I'm going to build this kind of deck. What do I need for this kind of deck? Well, you can build fairly decent. You can actually build a fairly decent fast advanced deck from the core set, and then think about, okay, have a look at the cycles. What would be interesting for you to buy? What's available as well, because that'll be the next hardest thing.
I've actually just had a thought, and maybe this is a topic for another time, but when you say the core set is broken as hell, maybe it's just powerful to remain consistently good no matter how old it gets.
I think it's either that, or there were some teething issues when they first built the game. Well, if you look at the original Netrunner, half of the cards there were broken. They were broken cards, and I think it was a case of like trying to recapture that, and then you've gone, okay, and don't get me wrong, like, I love the fact that Magnum is still, like, the core set is still viable, and the fact that you can get a new player in and you don't have the power creep that comes with Magic. You can say, you can spend a minimum amount of money and build a core deck that is just as viable in play as any other deck around there, because so much of it comes down to, at that point, you've got a deck you can rely on, and you know that it's powerful enough in the right hands, and then it comes down to your play, and then you learn to be a good player.
To be honest, that's the thing. Because it's great. We're still getting new players on Tuesday night, but it's one of the first things I tell them when they go, there's so much to think about. It's just like, to be honest, the core set's still competitive. You can play that, like, because they worry that they have to buy all the cards straight away. It's like, no. Take your time. The core set's still very good. You can play for as long as you want just with the core set and kind of throw in the cards you need as and when, really. But
there's also eBay. eBay's good. Like, if you want 2 or 3 cards, you can go on eBay and they may well have just those cards on there.
I know Team Covenant sell singles for quite a few cards as well as faction packs. I think they just they'll sell a bunch of Anarch cards and a bunch of Wayland cards, and you can just kind of buy per faction that you enjoy.
Yeah, that might not be a bad idea. Giving a shout out to Team Covenant at the same time, but they do a lot of decent things to buy for the beginner, and you can say, oh well, do you want a representation of the faction? Well, this is an idea of what you'll be getting into when you jump into Netrunner playing as an Anarch. Done, But, we should say, thank you for writing in, Alec. I hope we helped you in our own minimalist way. And I guess I'll see you this weekend.
Awesome. Well, I guess that about wraps up the show for this week. So, end of the show things. You can find us online at canlaugh.com/nerdrunners. You can send us some lovely feedback through the comment form we have on the site. Otherwise, you can email us at nerdrunnerspodcast@gmail.com. We'll post this episode on the site as well as on Reddit, which you can also post lovely feedback if you'd like on there too. I'm on Twitter at MarcusFriend, and Stef's on Twitter at House of Moose, and we'll also kind of post our Netrunner DB stuff, and you can find our decks. They usually tag Nerdrunners, but you can find us there. I'm Marcus Friend, and Stef is Ryn, which is Rynn. And I think that's about all the stuff to pimp about.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Bye.
Bye. I have to read this out because I've just seen this under. I was looking at Jackson and I saw the Lord's Prayer. Have you read this?
No, I haven't.
That's all right. We can cut this, but I have to tell you. Our Jackson, who art in my deck, hallowed be thy name. Thy install come, thy drawing be done in all decks as it is in NBN. Give us this day our daily cred, and forgive us all our trashed agendas, as we have also forgiven Wizard for trashing you. And lead us not into agenda flood, but deliver us from R&D lock. For thine is the deck, the OP, and the glory, forever and ever. GG. I need to get
wonderful.
that on a fucking playmat. I need that right now on a playmat.